Next order.
Order number 7, statement.
Next order.
Order number 8, motions stroke bills. Motion. Enhance water tracking to improve access to meet survival requirement.
Honorable Halima.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I raise to move the motion enhance water tracking to improve access to meet survival requirements. That aware that Constitution of Kenya under Article 43 1B guarantees every person a right to clean and safe water in adequate quantities and universal access to safe and affordable drinking water is a pillar according to Sustainable Development Goal. Further aware that water and sanitation services is a function of county government according to the 4th schedule of the Constitution of Kenya. Appreciating that the county government has been carrying out water tracking to areas that have been adversely affected by drought to provide water for human and livestock consumption as a short-term mitigation measures. Concerned that the water tank trucks are not enough compared to number of households and livestock in need of clean, safe water. Further concerned that it takes too long to surface the truck in instances of breakdown, undermining the effort of provision of essential services. This House urges the County Executive Committee member for Water, Environment, Natural Resources and Energy to increase the number of water tank trucks for supply of water for both human and livestock consumption. Second, to sink boreholes to extract groundwater from underground aquifers. Construction and protection of water banks. Establish a database on average consumption of water per household to guide in determination of trucks required. Declare drought as disaster to expected below average rainfall as per meteorological forecast. Mr. Speaker, sir, this motion I brought in because it's water is a critical commodity for human survival, and in most of the pastoral areas right now, because of the prolonged drought and missed rain for over several seasons, the water scarcity is the order of the day, whereby some of the settlements are even displaced because of water shortages. Temporary, within June, settlement like Lafe was displaced because of the breakdown of the borehole. Thirdly, in those areas, most of the time when the drillings were done, mostly in more than 3 times, the underground water were not available. So the expenses are gone into, and mainly sometimes the drillings does not fetch the required expected result. And in some areas where the water pans, the shallow water pans were there because of the hot sun mostly does not go more than 6 months for use. And coupled with now the current situation whereby most of the settlements in Cherabod and even other areas within our county which are occupied by the pastoralist community, but mainly focusing the Cherab zone, which is a very vast and areas, a very vast and an area that has a lot of shortcomings in terms of insecurity and also the lack of water in various settlements. So with that in mind, the government has set aside water tracking system through my intervention to the governor, and I really thank that, as I already indicated, because we had 2 water trackers which are on the ground, but most of the time lapses like 6 days without the settlement receiving water for human consumption, because the 2 trucks serve both livestock and human supply. The livestock right now, most of the areas closer to the water points, there are no pasture. The pasture are depleted, so the animals move far away from water points. And livestock are the main livelihood of our community, the pastoral community. And for them to protect their property, which is the livestock, they go far into those rangelands to look for pasture for the livestock. As the government, it is our responsibility to ensure that the property of our communities are being cared for in terms of supply of water to reach wherever they are. So in that order, the 2 trucks supply alternately both human and livestock, and the settlements that these trucks serve are quite a distance from Basa, Lave, Dololodakiye, Malkagala, Golle, all those areas. Most of the places, where there are water like Lave, the water are not good for human consumption. Mostly they are saline. So when they use for more than 2-3 days, you see there are some complaints about some cause of the salty water. So there is that health situation which are feared to accompany, because the water in a few boreholes which are available are not fit for human consumption. With that, my recommendation is, as already indicated, that since we have some water pans, and we are anticipating if they are going to be a few days rain, still we are within the anticipation that we are going to receive the mercy of God, that we are going to receive the rain. Some of these pans in Dololodakiye and Malkagala are open, and sometimes are used by even the domestic animals like donkeys, and the waters are usually spoiled for human consumption, and they are recurrently they are not protected, the pans. So there is a need, at least since those the water point, the pans, at times when it rains well, can be used for a period of like 6 months, needs some protection, and the city are even trying to expand in terms of covering more surface area of receiving water and storing. So those pans are not big enough to accommodate enough water for the residents. But when we propose the water department allocate funds to expand it and deseal it and then protect it, that water can serve for a period of even 6 months, 7 months, or even a year, which can also help. Like Malkagala, already the borehole was drilled in 2021, but the water is saline and not, after analysis done, it is found that it is not good for human consumption. So similarly, the Loladakie, the Basa, the water, the drillings did not go through. So with that, and the prolonged drought which may extend, it's my concern and my request that the Department of Water give attention to those areas. Maybe in other areas also, similarly, there are such, in those pastoral areas, similar to my ward, there may be such problem which are currently at hand. Right now, as I am speaking, those settlements have not received water for consumption for the consecutive 6 days. Imagine of the schools, imagine of the health facilities, imagine of the children and the pregnant mothers and elderly soul. These are the period of suffering itself by itself because of the impact of the drought, like a lack of adequate food. But when in addition we have that, we may even go in we can be faced with the outbreak of diseases which are related to hygiene, because the lack of water lead to lack of hygiene and they can be connected to other health hazards. So I am pleading to the concerned ministry, which are also relating to the treasury. Mostly when we go, and yesterday I was at water, I met with the water engineers, the technical team, and we discussed in details about what are the reasons why, however, the county has planned to track water, why the water are not adequately supplied to the areas. And these are attached to the treasury challenges, whereby lack of paying the pending bills. Most of the contractors do not trust the county government to give services, and those who give services, they are not up to the standard. Some of them cannot even repair their vehicles when it gets breakdown. Those are the services that are outsourced, and we expect such outsourced services when the owners usually take very fast action when there is a breakdown of the water tracker. If there is issues of the tires and any other breakdown, any mechanical, they take fast action, and because they know water is life. But what is happening is that those one of the track is for county government and one desired. In both instances, or both are in they are broken down, and up to now they are not repaired, and those people have not received their water for the last 6 days. And this is now the trend. Usually it's not something that just happened now, but it is usually the trend, and during this time people really suffer because of the water shortage. So I am with this all recommendation that I have put in place, I have suggested, recommended, we hope with this intervention, the current crisis situation in preparedness, because soon, if the rain is going to the rainfall falls, and maybe it stops where it is now, and we are not going to receive no more rain, then the situation, if we are not going to focus and look at these problems and try to capture them in time, then the situation will be worse, and the starvation plus lack of water will see our county, our people perish. So with this, I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I welcome other opinions. Thank you.
Speaker. Second.